Some people, especially in our community, shy away to talk about it, especially when it comes to women. When it's in the period of preconception, everyone is asking you, when are you having a baby? But is anyone asking you, how do you feel in that moment? How are you taking care of your body? How are you taking care of your mind? And how are you preparing financially? These are the conversations that are very, very important to have during preconception. Welcome to Vitalia Podcast, where we make health, wellness, and life skills simple, relatable, and empowering. For today's episode, we are going to talk about an important topic, and that's the journey to motherhood. Motherhood doesn't start when you're pregnant. It doesn't even start when you already have a child. It starts before conception, with the right preparation, knowledge, and support. But so many people start asking the right questions about motherhood when they are already pregnant. What if we shift the narrative? What if we start talking about the importance of having the right information and the right knowledge about motherhood before conception? For today's episode, we are going to explore the full journey to motherhood, from preconception to pregnancy to postpartum recovery. And we are not going to use medical jargon. We are going to use simple, evidence-based language and information that is easy to understand, simple, relatable, and that can be easily applied in a day-to-day life. Let's start at the beginning, preconception. This is one of the most overlooked stage for motherhood and in maternal health, and yet it is the most scientifically important stage of motherhood. According to the World Health Organization, optimizing health before pregnancy significantly reduces risk for both the mother and the baby. For mothers, you can ask yourself, what does preconception include? So first, you hear about taking supplements like folic acid, and you always ask yourself, what does folic acid does? So there is what we call the development of the baby when they are in the womb inside the mother. So the folic acid supplement scientifically shows that it reduces the neurotube defects, which are the deformation of the baby, by up to 70%. And this is by the World Health Organization and CDC. And also helping to manage chronic conditions, such as gestational diabetes and hypertension. And you can ask yourself, how can I reduce the chances of having chronic medical condition when I'll be pregnant? And this goes with the lifestyle that you have during preconception. This includes healthy diet and exercising and moving your body, fighting diabetes and hypertension even before you conceive. And we don't stop by that. Reviewing medication with also the healthcare provider. You might be having a medical condition even before you conceive. So regular checkup with your gynecologist and with the medical care provider can help you have a healthy preconception stage. And we don't stop by that. We go also with consistent habits that I have talked about, such as exercise. And exercise, you can ask yourself, what do you mean, Christelle, by exercise? Exercise is a regular movement that includes regular walks, especially after meals, because scientifically it has proven that walking 30 minutes or more after a meal helps with reducing insulin resistance. And what is insulin? Insulin, take it like it's like a key. And your body tissues is like doors. And you need the key to enter inside your body. So inside the house. And the door being your body tissue, the insulin helps to actually move the glucose that you have eaten from diverse food that you have fueled your body, and it allows it to go inside your system. So regular movements such as walking, cycling, lifting weights, which is very, very important for preconception, helps as well in that insulin resistance. And we don't stop by that. Also, healthy diet. And when we say healthy diet, it's not restriction or eating in a complicated way. It's fueling your body with what it needs. So taking your macronutrients. Your macronutrients includes carbohydrate, protein, and healthy fats, and also not forgetting vitamins. But here's something that many people don't talk about often, that men's health matters for preconception. Research published in The Lancet shows that male health before conception affects fertility, the pregnancy outcomes, and even long-term child health. So men can ask themselves, what should I do for preconception? I don't have the uterus. I'm not going to carry the baby. But research shows that moving your body before conception for men helps with regulating the hormones, helps with sperm quality, and also helps reduce inflammation, and also helps the mother to not go through the chronic maternal medical condition, such as gestational diabetes and hypertension, often referred as preeclampsia and eclampsia, which is hypertension during pregnancy. And men can ask themselves, is it only moving my body? I go to the gym every day. Isn't that enough? It's not enough. Also, looking at what you put in your body in terms of nutrition is very important for men. As I mentioned before, making sure you take your macronutrients, so your carbohydrate, your protein, and healthy fats and vitamin also helps. And emerging evidence shows that sperm carries epigenetic information, meaning a father's health basically can influence how the placenta develops and how genes are expressed in the baby. So you might have heard of many cases of preeclampsia that we have in hospitals nowadays. And many people can think it's more related to the mother, and it's not in any ways or any form related to the father's health. But research shows us otherwise because it's 50-50. So preconception is also a 50-50 intentional work, both by the mother and the father. It also includes optimizing the environment before life begins, because preparation is power. That includes also the conversation around finances. How are we prepared to have a baby? Have we set aside a saving account that is going to help us with spendings when we are going to be welcoming a new life in our life? How prepared are we? Do we have all the necessities that are needed in order for us to have a baby? This is a conversation that many people are not ready to have, but this is very, very important during preconception, before even life begins. And that includes also mental health. How is both the mother and the father supported in the period before life begins? While you are preparing for the baby, both physically, psychologically, emotionally, and financially. Are you having the conversation? Some people, especially in our community, shy away to talk about it. Especially when it comes to women, when it's in the period of preconception, everyone is asking you, when are you having a baby? But is anyone asking you, how do you feel in that moment? How are you taking care of your body? How are you taking care of your mind? And how are you preparing financially? These are the conversations that are very, very important to have during preconception. So not only looking at the medical side of it, but also at the emotional side of it, the financial side of it, and the mental side of it as a family. Now, let's move into pregnancy. One of the biggest myths is that pregnancy is a fragile moment. Like a mother shouldn't be doing anything during pregnancy. What if we look at that in a perspective of what does the mother need in the moment when they are pregnant? Medically speaking, pregnancy is a physiological transformation, not a disease. So a mother is not fragile, not at all. They are actually the strongest they have ever been because their body changes to accommodate a living being inside of them. According to the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, physical activity during pregnancy is not only safe for mothers, it's strongly recommended. So the myth that mothers are fragile and they shouldn't be moving is debunked by science. So you can ask yourself, what are the type of physical activities and movement a pregnant woman should do? Science shows that walking helps the pregnant mother regulate insulin, and it can be both beneficial for the mother and the baby. But that it also reduces back pain, improves sleep quality, but also support healthy weight gain, but also improves blood circulation, which helps to reduce risk of maternal health conditions such as gestational diabetes and hypertension, often known as preeclampsia and eclampsia during pregnancy. But also, it helps to strengthen muscles that are used during labor. And this is very important to stress. And I mentioned walking as a form of exercise, but there are other type of exercise that the pregnant woman is advised to do. And this is after checking that those exercises are safe with your healthcare provider. That includes, as I mentioned, walking. That includes also stationary cycling, prenatal yoga, and low-intensity weightlifting, but also some aerobic classes. If now they are adapted to pregnancy, that is so much better. And then we look into now the importance of those exercises, but also going with the schedule of the mother, because at the end of the day, we want everything that we talk about at Vitalia Podcast to be relatable, simple, and practical in our day-to-day life. Looking at the life we lead even here in Rwanda and on the African continent, some mothers keep walking and going to their day-to-day activities even when they are pregnant. So taking a moment to move your body doesn't mean that you have to be in the time of walking out. You can take pauses. Some people call them coffee breaks, and you move your body to go take your coffee or go to your car, or even when you are doing day-to-day activities around the houses. Pregnancy is not a time to remain idle and sit, because your body needs movement, and not only your body, but also your baby inside of you. And here are the principles that matter when you're moving your body and exercising. Make sure you move consistently. So what does it mean consistently? Every day, make sure you put in some movement. And something else, avoid dizziness or any sort of pain. And if you feel that way, make sure to consult with your healthcare provider. And breathe steadily. And something else, listen to your body. Because at the end of the day, your body communicates more than even science can do. And let me ask you something. When was the last time you moved your body in a way where you would listen to your own body and how it feels? It feels amazing, right? So same applies to a pregnant woman. you can hear that it's important to move your body, but it's also as important to listen to your body. And in addition to movement, is what you put in your body. So the nutrition during pregnancy. We talked about macronutrients during preconception. This same applies during pregnancy because everything that you are fueling your body, it's directly connected to what the baby is also receiving. So it's best at that moment to be intentional to everything that you're putting in your body. So when we talk about macronutrients, we don't mean diet or restriction. Sometimes you can hear so many unreliable medical advices of what you should avoid eating while pregnant. But make sure that whenever you get those medical advices, it's from a reliable healthcare provider or from your doctor. So some of the important macronutrients that I can mention that are important during pregnancy are like carbohydrates. What are carbohydrates? Like if we look in our own community, rice is carbohydrate, Irish potatoes is carbohydrate, sweet potatoes are carbohydrate, and wheat and greens are carbohydrate. And why do we need carbohydrate? For us to have that energy. The energy is not only needed by our body to move, but also for our brain to be energized, for us to be able to think. And it's very important when you are pregnant because when your body is energized, it also influences your mood, your focus, and your energy. Going forward are healthy fats. Healthy fats include avocados, olive oil, other oil from that are plant-based, and also eggs. But eggs can also be included in proteins. And why are healthy fats very important? It helps to balance our hormones. And remember, during pregnancy, your hormones are there to not only protect you, but also protect your body. That includes your estrogen and your progesterone, and also other hormones that are there to keep you safe during pregnancy. So it's very important to take in your healthy fats in order to make sure that your hormones are balanced. And moving forward are your proteins. Your proteins are meant to build your body. That means build your muscles and your bones. And that is very important because you have the extra weight, which is the baby you're carrying. So it's very important to be mindful about the protein that you are taking in your body. So what are the examples of the protein? It can include chicken, it can include lead meat, it can include fish, eggs, and also plant-based protein that you can get from diverse vegetables and salads. How are plant-based protein different from animal-based protein? It depends on the amino acid that your body needs, and the amino acids are the compositions of the protein that you are getting in the food. So that is on the side of nutrition. But not forgetting the most important micronutrients, but also your vitamins. The vitamins, you get them from diverse fruits that you have accessible in your community. That include bananas, oranges, strawberries, blueberries, mangoes. If you like juices, it's nice to take your juices, but it's best recommended to take your vitamins directly from the fruits than from the processed juices as a source of vitamins. And that is very important because at the end of the day, every food source you're putting in your body is also getting to your baby. And let's not forget about sleep, because sleep is very important while pregnant. It helps with stress management. It helps improve your mood, your focus, and your energy level. And it also helps to regulate hormones that are very, very important for growth, both of the baby, but also to keep you safe as the mother as well. And that hormone includes the cortisol hormone. I know you have heard of the cortisol hormone. So the cortisol hormone is an hormone that is produced in our body, specifically by the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands are the tissues in our kidneys. And this cortisol hormone always peaks at night and reduces during the day. And this cortisol hormone is regulated during sleep. So it's very, very important for both the mother and the baby for the mother to get enough sleep. And why is sleep important to talk about? Because the environment that the mother is in is an environment that should be taken care of. And there is need for support, not only from friends and family, but also from the person that the mother is having a baby with. In order to support the mother, it's very important to understand why sleep is very important for the mother. For the mother to not only rest, but for her body to be able to keep nurturing and keeping the baby safe. So going forward, we are going to now the expected and the unexpected during pregnancy. And some of those are like nausea, fatigue, back discomfort, and swelling. And it can be very, very alarming for mothers. So it's very advisable, especially at the stage of pregnancy you are at. If you have nausea, like during the first trimester, it's what is referred as hyperemesis gravidulum. It's very, very important if it happens often to consult with your healthcare provider. Now, when it comes to back discomfort that never stops, or fatigue that goes with dizziness and headache, and swelling of the extremities like your legs, it's very important to consult with your healthcare provider because those might be signs of diverse maternal health conditions such as preeclampsia, which is hypertension during pregnancy. And this goes now to the next important topic to talk about during pregnancy, which is antenatal care. According to the World Health Organization, regular antenatal care visit can prevent a large portion of maternal and neonatal complications. So sometimes mothers ask themselves, how many times should I go to the healthcare providers? My friend, as many times as possible. Even though the recommended number of antenatal care visits are 8 in Rwanda and in so many parts on the African continent and around the world, it's very important to listen to your body and look out for the warning sign. I'm going to mention some of them again. Nausea during the first weeks of pregnancy, so the first trimester, the back discomfort that never goes away even with rest, the pain like headache and dizziness that never goes away with rest, and swelling of extremities. And those warning signs can help the mother understand that you don't have to wait until your next visit to visit your healthcare provider. You have to go to the hospital as soon as possible. And that goes with other medical conditions that we want to go in depth in. And that's like gestational diabetes. Some of the warning signs during gestational diabetes is like increased thirst. Imagine drinking more than 10 bottles of water, but you never get satisfied. Like the thirst is not going away. That is one of the warning signs of gestational diabetes. And the reason behind it is because the glucose from the food that you are eating is not getting well into your body. As I mentioned to you, insulin is like the key that gets your fuel, glucose, into the body. So when you have diabetes, the insulin is resistant, so the key is deformed. And then the glucose is not getting to your body. So where is it? It's in your blood. And because it's in your blood is dehydrated. It needs more water. And one of the signs that you can easily see is increased thirst. Increased thirst, like you want to be drinking water again and again. Another sign is frequent urination, visiting the private areas many times during the day. Because at the end of the day, your body wants to get rid of the glucose that is circulating in the blood. So that is another sign. Another sign is dizziness. You don't feel like your brain is at ease and you are seeing blurred vision. That's another sign of gestational diabetes that you have to look and make sure you visit your healthcare provider to actually check. And another sign is increased hunger, because at the end of the day, your body tissues require glucose. But the glucose that is supposed to go to body tissues is not getting there because the key is deformed. And now you want to eat more and more in order to get more glucose, but the glucose is there. The problem is not getting into your body as well as it should be. And this is why monitoring is not optional, it's essential. Antenatal care not only allows for early detection, but also early intervention and better outcomes both for the baby and the mother. And now let's go to the next stage, which is postpartum. Now you have had your baby's smiling, you had a very healthy preconception and healthy pregnancy. And now you have your baby with you. Postpartum recovery can take up to days and months. It depends from one mother to another. But this is a very crucial stage in a mother's life. Research shows that 1 to 5 women globally experience perinatal mental conditions. So postpartum depression is real. Anxiety is real and support is needed. When a mother now has her baby, it's not the time for the support to go away. And that is support from friends, family, and her beloved ones. Time to give the mother a space to recover. As I mentioned, physical activity should never stop during postpartum because your body is in recovery, but it needs slow, intentional movement in order to heal. And for your body to heal, it needs macronutrient, a good nutrition. Do you have time as a mother to take care of the baby and also mind and be careful about what you are eating? This is when the mother needs support from not only their spouse, but their family and friends in order to create a supportive environment for the mother to know that they are not alone. Like the beloved ones can remind the mother, it's very important to take your micronutrients. We have made sure that your carbohydrate, your healthy fats, your vitamins, and your proteins are available to you as the mother. And we have made sure that it's prepared for you to fuel your body. And this is not only important for the mother, because in that moment, the mother is breastfeeding. And breastfeeding requires that the body of the mother is well fueled with nutrition for the baby to be able to get the nutrients in turn. So it's very important for the mother to be supported during postpartum. And let's go back to the other discussion of sleep. I've always heard myths around, one day, Christelle, when you have a baby, you won't sleep. You'll always be awake. Your baby will always cry and you will never find even a minute to sleep. And this goes to mothers that they think that they should be deprived of sleep. But sleep is not important only for the mother. It's as important for the mother as it is important for the baby. As we mentioned during preconception and pregnancy, sleep is important for recovery. It's important for the body to heal, but it's also important for mood, focus, and energy, and hormone balance. And all of that is important for the baby because the mother shows up now better for the baby to take care and nurture the baby when they are well rested. And it also helps with the milk, the breast milk that the mother is giving the baby. Just imagine a mother who is not well rested, breastfeeding her baby. What is the kind of nutrient that the mother is giving to the baby? If the glucose is not integrated well in the system of the mother, because the mother is not well rested. So mothers, don't be deprived of sleep. And family and friends of mothers provide a supportive environment for the mother to be not sleep deprived, but be able to get rest and recover better. And going back to numbers that the World Health Organization showed us on postpartum depression, mental health is a conversation to not shy away when it comes to postpartum recovery. The mother's body has gone through physiological transformation and changes that are drastic also for the brain. So it's very important to create a supportive environment for the mother to be able to recover also mentally. And if necessary, to also have the support from healthcare providers and mental health experts and professionals as needed. Because a mother who is well rested but whose mental health is well taken care of is a healthy mother for the baby that they are nurturing and they are taking care of. The healing phase in postpartum, the recovery, includes uterine healing. So this is your uterus healing from getting the baby out. And the pelvic floor recovery. So when you are pushing the baby, the pelvic floor and all the muscles and organs around your pelvic area needs to recover. And hormone regulation. When you're pregnant, your estrogen, your progesterone, and other hormones in your body are regulated to be adaptable to pregnancy. So during the healing phase, which is the postpartum, your hormones have to go back to its original state, to their original state. So this moment, your hormones are regulating. This is why it's very important to take care of your body and also rest as that is happening. And something else is sleep adjustment. The reality is you need sleep, but the environment has changed. You need to breastfeed, you need to take care of the baby. So finding a way to actually adjust sleep and making sure that it's supportive for your healing body is very important during postpartum. And emotional recalibration. You had a new human being, living being in your life. The emotions are both high and low once in a while because of your body changing, the physiological transformation that happened, but also the good emotions that you just became a mother. So it's very important to recalibrate your emotions in order for you to show up for yourself and also for your baby. According to clinical guidelines, full recovery, as I mentioned, can take weeks, 2 months, and sometimes longer. So it's so important to give your body grace and time to recover. And supportive healing, as I mentioned, and I'm going to mention it again, requires adequate movement that is consistent, adequate nutrition, hydration, and sleep, and mental health support and emotional calibration as needed. So your body has accomplished something extraordinary. You brought life to this world. So aligning it with your normal schedules, your normal way of life, it can sound both exciting and scary at the same time. But this is why the community is there for you. And this is why Vitalia podcast is there for you to understand the journey you're going through, for you to understand that you're not alone. You have a space where you can get the right knowledge, the right information in a simple, relatable, and empowering and intentional way. And together, we can help you understand what your body is going through. Not only as you are preparing to bring a life to this world during preconception, but also during pregnancy and postpartum as your body recover. We are going to be having now guests and healthcare professionals take us now into details about the full journey to motherhood. That includes preconception, pregnancy, and postpartum. But for now, as your host, I'm so happy that you were able to tune in, if it was through getting this podcast on social media or through a friend or out of curiosity for the first time. Thank you for being with us throughout this whole podcast.